The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Good morning, Patriots. It is Sunday, March 15th, 2026, and you're listening to The Neural Right, your daily dose of common sense in a truly, truly crazy world. I'm Diane Albright, your favorite mama bear, and I have my coffee, well, mostly coffee, and my flag scarf on tight because, honey, the world is moving fast today. And I'm Ashley Thorne, the woman here to remind you that if the truth hurts, you probably need a thicker skin and maybe a better helmet. It's a busy Sunday morning. We've got a lot to unpack, from the crumbling empires of the digital elites to the literal front lines of a new war in the Middle East. Busy is right. Yesterday, we were talking about the potential sale of CNN, which, let's be real, couldn't happen fast enough, and that bizarre mystery smell that grounded flights in D.C. Honestly, the only mystery to me is how anyone breathes the air in that swamp at all. But today, we are diving into what happens when the Victimhood Industrial Complex hits a wall of actual reality. It's a normal news day in the sense that the world is still on fire, but it's heavy on the consequences. We're seeing the fallout of years of bad policy finally coming home to roost.
Well, let's start with something close to every mother's heart. The kitchen table. Ashley, have you seen what's happening with this MAHA movement? My phone has been blowing up with moms who are finally seeing someone in Washington care about what's in a cereal box. Let's be real, Diane. It was about time. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Brooke Rollins are basically throwing a grenade into the standard American diet, and the sugar lobby is absolutely losing their mind.
The big news in the last 24 hours is this federal lawsuit. Aragon versus Rollins. You've got SNAP beneficiaries in 5 states, Colorado, Iowa, Nebraska, Tennessee, and West Virginia, suing the USDA because they can't use taxpayer money to buy soda and candy anymore.
Oh, give me a break. A lawsuit because you can't buy a Mountain Dew with my tax dollars? Are you kidding me? These ingrates think that equity means a right to diabetes on the public dime.
Right? The argument is that the USDA redefined food without enough public comment. They're claiming it creates chaos at the checkout counter because people can't buy drinks with more than 5 grams of added sugar. Here's a reality check. If you can't figure out how to buy a gallon of water instead of a liter of Pepsi, the problem isn't the government, it's you. Exactly. And these MAHA moms, the suburban women who have had enough of the toxic sludge being pushed on our children, they are cheering this on. But, I have to be honest, I'm seeing some cracks in the base. Did you see the executive order on glyphosate? I did. President Trump signed an order to boost domestic production of Roundup, glyphosate, and the MAHA grassroots are, well, incensed is an understatement. RFK Jr. has spent his whole career fighting that chemical, and now the administration is doubling down on it for economic independence. It's a tough one, honey. I want our farmers to win, but I also don't want my grandkids eating weed killer. It's the first real civil war inside the movement. It's a classic conflict between populist energy and industrial reality. But speaking of conflicts, let's talk about the war being waged on our universities, because while we're worried about what's in the food, the elites are worried about making sure they can still use race as a weapon in admissions.
This makes my blood boil. The Trump administration put out this directive, the Admissions and Consumer Transparency Supplement, asking colleges to just give us the data. Show us the race and sex of who you're admitting so we can see if you're actually following the law. And what happens?
17 Democrat-led states sued, obviously. Massachusetts and California are leading the charge. And yesterday, a federal judge in Boston, Dennis Saylor,
issued a temporary block on the whole thing. The states are calling it a fishing expedition and saying it's an impossible administrative burden to give 7 years of data by next week.
An administrative burden. These schools have billion-dollar endowments and more DEI deans than they have physics professors. They know exactly who they're admitting and why. They're just terrified that the data will prove they're using essays as a proxy for the racial quotas the Supreme Court already told them to stop using.
It's the cultural capture in reverse, Diane. The federal government is trying to dismantle these entrenched DEI frameworks, and the institutional left is clutching their pearls. They claim it violates student privacy, but we all know it's about protecting the Victimhood Industrial Complex. They need the oppressed categories to keep their funding flowing.
It is so embarrassing, and it's not just the colleges. In Colorado, the Department of Education just issued a biological sex ultimatum to one of the biggest school districts. Basically, follow the science or lose your funding. Common sense is finally putting on its boots.
And the bureaucrats are terrified.
They should be. Life is hard, get a helmet. If you can't define what a woman is for a sports team, you shouldn't be in charge of a bake sale, let alone a school district.
Speaking of people who shouldn't be in charge, Ashley, did you see the latest on Kirsten's cinema? I thought she was supposed to be the serious independent.
Oh, this cinema scandal is the gift that keeps on giving. For the listeners who missed it, the former senator just admitted in a federal court filing that she had an intimate relationship with her bodyguard, a married man with 3 children, while she was a sitting senator. The ex-wife is suing her for alienation of affection.
It's the ultimate rules for thee, but not for me. These elites live these incredibly messy, high-consumption lives while preaching values or independence to the rest of us. It's the same vibe as the Washington Post cutting a third of their staff this week, or BuzzFeed admitting their substantial doubt they'll even exist in a year.
Oh, BuzzFeed. I remember when they were the future of media. Now their market cap is below $27 million. They lost $57 million just last year.
Because turns out people don't want to pay for clickbait and DEI lectures anymore. The great reset of the media is here. They're finding out that being a cultural gatekeeper doesn't pay the bills when the gate is falling off the hinges.
It's a dumpster fire, and I'm here for the warmth. But we have to talk about the reality outside the bubble, because while the elites are playing musical chairs with their careers, real people are dealing with a total breakdown of law and order. Did you see the story out of Dallas Love Field?
It's sickening. Idris Vinay Solomon, a guy from Oakland, punched a TSA officer and then shattered a Dallas cop's eyeball socket, an orbital blowout fracture. All because he didn't have the right ID to get on a Southwest flight?
It's that unruly culture, Ashley. People feel entitled to violence the moment they're inconvenienced. And why wouldn't they? They see repeat offenders being let out of jail in places like Santa Cruz every single day.
Exactly. It's the revolving door policy. We prioritize the rights of the aggressor over the safety of the officer or the traveler. It's the same thing with the border. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Western Texas just added 250 new immigration cases this week alone. The system is buckling.
It is, and yet there's a glimmer of hope. Look at John Fetterman. I never thought I'd say this, but the man is becoming a voice of reason. He's got a 72% approval rating among Republicans in Pennsylvania.
It's the most fascinating realignment in years. He's calling out the rot in his own party. He's supporting voter ID. He's the only Democrat who voted to fund DHS because he said a shutdown shouldn't be a political poker chip.
He's the common sense centrist we didn't know we needed. Or maybe the world has gone so crazy that a guy in a hoodie looks like a statesman compared to the rest of them.
Let's be real, Diane. We're searching for anchors everywhere. Even Gen Z is doing it. There was a study out yesterday. 45% of young people now say they believe in God. That's triple what it was 5 years ago.
The quiet revival. I love it. The generation raised on TikTok is realizing that the digital void is empty. They're turning to the Bible. Sales are at a 21-year high. They want something ancient and unchangeable.
They want the truth. And speaking of the truth, we need to talk about the most serious story of the day, the one that's going to affect every single person listening.
You're right. We need to talk about the arsenal of freedom and the cost of this war with Iran.
Before we get into the heavy stuff, let's deal with a hard reality. Real independence isn't free. This entire network, from this show to our flagship, The Neural Daily, exists because one man, Eric Christensen, decided to build it himself. He didn't ask for a government grant. He invested his own capital and technical expertise to architect a media platform that respects your intelligence. If you value that kind of meritocratic building, back it up. And don't limit yourself to just the politics. Get the full strategic picture by subscribing to The Neural Daily and the rest of the network. Support the builder and you support the mission.
Amen to that. We need independent voices now more than ever, especially as we watch the Middle East go up in flames. Ashley, we're 2 weeks into this conflict and it's gut-wrenching.
It's the most significant military confrontation in our lifetime. Operation Epic Fury, which you praised last month, Diane, has essentially decapitated the Iranian regime. Ayatollah Khamenei is confirmed dead. His son Mojtaba is supposedly in charge, but the whole country is in chaos.
And the price of that chaos is being paid by American families. We just got the names of the 6 airmen who died in that KC-135 crash in Iraq. Major Alex Klinner, he was a father of 3 Ashley, 7-month-old twins. He'd only been deployed for a week.
It's devastating. These are the faces of the arsenal of freedom. Captain Ariana Savino, Tech Sergeant Ashley Pruitt. These people are flying 60-year-old planes to keep the world from spinning out of control. And the Pentagon is trying to rush AI-driven targeting to compensate for the fact that we've hollowed out our industrial base for years.
And while our boys and girls are dying, the Iranian regime is using the economic weapon. They've effectively closed the Strait of Hormuz. Gas prices are skyrocketing, and the elites are probably going to tell us to just buy an EV again.
Well, that's where the common sense kicks in. There is a massive shift toward energy pragmatism happening right now. Have you seen the South Bow proposal? They want to revive the Keystone XL pipeline.
Finally! They're calling it a resurrection. Canadian crude exports could jump by 12%. It's exactly what we've been screaming for. Drill, baby, drill, and pipe it here. And the White House is reportedly looking at a waiver for the Jones Act, that 100-year-old law that makes it impossible to move fuel between U.S. ports efficiently. It's a reality check for the green energy crowd. You can't fight a war and manage a global economy on windmills and sunshine. It's the maximum pressure policy in action, not just on Iran, but on our own bureaucracy. We're seeing it in the Western Hemisphere too. The collapse of the pink tide. Venezuela is finally seeing a reconstruction phase after Maduro was taken out in January.
And Cuba is at a burning point. Protesters torched the Communist Party headquarters in Ciego de Avila yesterday. 15-hour blackouts. People are done with the socialist experiment. They want liberty and they want it now.
It's a global great awakening, honey. People are tired of the lies, tired of the corruption, and tired of the ingrates telling them how to live. Whether it's the MAHA moms in the grocery store or the protesters in Havana, the message is the same. Give us our common sense back.
But it comes with a warning. We're seeing something very dark at the same time. The anti-Semitism on these college campuses, the Florida Federation of College Republicans had to disband their University of Florida chapter yesterday because of anti-Semitic gestures.
It is heartbreaking. My heart goes out to the Jewish students who are just trying to get an education without being targeted by these radicalized kids. It's an institutional failure. When you teach children that the world is divided into oppressors and oppressed, you end up with this kind of hate.
It's the logical conclusion of the Victimhood Industrial Complex, and we have to stand against it every single day.
We do. Well, we've covered the world today, from the kitchen table to the Strait of Hormuz. It's a lot to take in. But remember, we have each other. We have our faith, and we have the truth.
And we have a helmet. Get one, folks. It's going to be a long week. That it is. We'll be back tomorrow to see if BuzzFeed is still solvent and if Fetterman has officially joined the GOP yet. Until then, keep your coffee hot, your flags high, and your common sense sharp.
This has been The Neural Right. We'll